Hi Rose, nice to see you.
Hello, Ellie.
Hi. So as you know, because we've met multiple times before, I'm Ellie from the Charles Causley Trust, and we know each other because of the festival and the work that I do for the trust. But we actually thought it might be really nice for some of our members, followers, and fans to kind of get to know who does what and a little bit behind the scenes almost here at the trust. So thank you for getting involved with our chat with videos, and you're actually the very first one.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
No, you're more than welcome. Absolutely. So after the success of our digital festival, we thought, and obviously though we prefer face to face, we thought we could actually just utilize the skills that we had learned in the use of technology to our advantage, to enable it really to provide us with opportunities like this. So to record some interviews and to be able to put them out on our social media and to essentially kind of engage our audience better and to kind of let them see it from a different angle, I guess, really. So if you're ready, I'll crack on with some questions.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
Fantastic. So first question, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I have just graduated this year. I studied English with Publishing at Plymouth University. So when I finished, which was unfortunately in the outbreak of the coronavirus, I had to find a job. So I managed to secure a role in an editorial company and also a publishing house in Plymouth. So it's really convenient for me living in Saltash in Cornwall. And I am really lucky as well to find a role that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, that's it really.
Which is brilliant, because I know it has been really difficult for people to secure positions, and obviously students straight out of university are within that demographic that, you know, that kind of 18 to 25 year olds that it has been a really difficult thing. So to be able to secure a position, not just secure a position, but to secure one in a sector that's relevant to your degree and something that you're passionate about has been brilliant. Well done.
Oh, thank you, Ellie. Yeah, no, I'm really, really pleased. And I just know it's a really daunting time for a lot of students who graduate, and especially with the current climate as well, it can be really, really daunting.
Yeah.
So I'm really,
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of leads us on, because you just alluded a little bit. So obviously kind of publishing, that's quite relevant to obviously what we do at the Charles Causley Trust. So how did you first hear about the trust and get involved?
So I first heard about the Charles Causley Trust in my second year of university. I received an email from a lecturer talking about an opportunity with the Charles Causley Trust as an intern. And I was really interested straight away because I really wanted to gain experience in the industry, and I was really interested in arts and culture, especially in Cornwall. So yeah, I was really interested. And also Charles Causley is actually a name that really resonated with me as well, because I studied Charles Causley whilst at school, and always reading books of his, like The Merry Maid of Zennor. So yeah, I was really, really pleased when I heard that they were recruiting for an intern. And also my nan actually, she sort of knew Charles Causley a little bit. So she's a bard, a Cornish bard.
Oh,
so at various Cornish school sets, they did actually cross paths. So yeah, it felt really right to go for the role.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the Charles Causley Trust, you know, we take on an intern every year from one of the universities, and I know that that's how quite a lot of kind of our younger members have got involved and got engaged, which is just fantastic. It's great for us to be able to provide the opportunity, but it's also great for us to have that kind of, you know, up and coming view of the world, really, to ensure that, you know, we do pivot in times like this, and, you know, kind of make more use of technology and look at engaging a kind of a younger audience, really, I guess. So I guess what made you get involved was just the fact that it resonated. It was the connection, the family connection, the fact that you were familiar with his work. It was kind of in line with what you were doing. So yeah, that's brilliant. Now you are actually our youngest trustee, and actually in the past, it hasn't been unusual for somebody of your age to get involved with the trust, because during, like I say, with the internships and during the festival, then we do tend to have student volunteers. But what's kind of kept you involved with us? What's kind of, you know, because you've gone past that process now and you stayed with us through your final year, and now you're going into the wide world of work, you're still one of our trustees.
I know, I've been there such a long time now, and I'm really enjoying every moment. And I just think it provides me with so many diverse jobs that I can get involved with, including the festival. I really enjoy getting involved with the festival. But I also really do think it's important for young people to get involved as well, just to generate a sort of young and fresh perspective on, like, with the trust, because I know that, you know, if you keep hiring people who are young, they bring in a fresh face, and I just think it's really, really important for the trust.
Yeah, absolutely, because otherwise you end up, you know, you end up not necessarily moving with the times, and you're not then relevant to the whole demographic, and you don't become accessible. So absolutely. And actually that covers the next question, because the next question was, why do you think it's important for the younger generation to get involved with trusts like ours? So that's already answered it. So
I'm one step ahead.
You are, absolutely, absolutely. So okay, so kind of going to or moving on to Charles's work, what is it that you liked about Charles's work and his poetry?
I like the way that he presents and also explores relationships. I think that his work is absolutely marvellous, and he's so diverse as well with his work, with his children books and his collected poems for children, and then also going into his, like, the Charles Causley collected poems. And for me as well, again, like I said earlier, it really resonates with me, especially his poems of Cornwall, and one of my favourites is Serenade to a Cornish Fox. So yeah, and living down in Cornwall, you can really see his inspirations, but I particularly like the way that he presents relationships throughout his work, and also writing in a time where he's reflecting on war and his experience as well, and you can sort of see that seep through his work, and I really enjoy that.
Absolutely. And also his work is so you can read it as a child and fully understand it, and then you can read it as an adult and it has more layers and more depth to it, and you essentially you can take a poem of his from when you were a child and continue to read it all the way through your life, and you'll kind of peel back the layers of what he actually was trying to communicate.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah, definitely.
So it's great because it makes it and it just makes it really accessible to everybody too, which is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
So my next question was, what is your favourite poem of his and why? I know you've mentioned already a poem. Is that your favourite poem, or have you got others?
I do have a few actually. I really like the Ballad of Charlotte Diamond, just because it's so sinister, and also you don't really know the answer because they still don't know whether her boyfriend did kill Charlotte Diamond. You don't know, and it is at a time where, you know, things weren't so advanced. Another favourite is A Wedding Portrait, and I actually recited that one for the recent Memorandum of Understanding with Exeter University.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my favourites as well, because he captures the relationship between himself and his parents. Yeah. So I love that one, and also Angel Hill as well.
Yes, and I think Angel Hill, because it's a geographical specific one, it's quite nice because you can walk up and down Angel Hill, and you know, it really embodies, you know, you can feel where that language came from.
Yeah, definitely. And also in the festival, when they do the walk through Launceston, it's really, really nice to be able to put a location to the poem, and I just think that's, yeah, a really nice link.
Definitely, he was absolutely a poet of place, and that's not just Launceston; it was any place he was at. So his war poems, or whether he was home or away, you know, he absolutely encaptured that really well.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many, and like the Plymouth. There's ones about Plymouth. down in Zena. There's ones all over, and Mevagissey as well. There's ones all over the place. So it's nice to be able to put locations to the poems.
Yeah, definitely. And also even to the point where it was times of his life. So my favourite poem, and I know it's many's favourite, is Timothy Winter's.
Yeah, I love that one.
I know, and I think that harks back to when I used to teach a little, and yeah, and I know I can feel the resonation of the fact that you know, when at the end, when he, especially on the Poetry Archive, he talks about people thought that he'd made that poem up, but he hadn't. You know, Timothy Winters was a real boy that he taught, and it's funny because I can so see that boy, and you know, I can trace back through the children that I've taught and know who would have been Timothy Winters.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't actually know that he was, real.
Yeah. He was a real boy that he taught. I don't think he was called Timothy Winters,
no.
But he was describing a real boy he taught. So that, it kind of made it come alive. So
I love the fact that you can see elements of his life within his poetry, and you can feel like you really are learning more about Charles Causley, especially if you get to visit the house as well. The house is amazing.
and it's fantastic because it's a living museum, and I was lucky enough to obviously be able to broadcast the festival from there this year. So for 3 days I was at the house, and yes, it's just fantastic, the living museum element of it. You feel like you shouldn't be touching anything because he's sat in, and his typewriter and his books, but it's all there to experience, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so on to the final question. What would you say to anyone thinking of getting involved in the trust? Because we are already, I know July next year all kind of seems like a long way away for our festival, but we're looking for people to get involved with the help of organising our festival, and just more involvement with the trust, really. So what would you say to anybody, young or old, about getting involved?
Yeah, I would say completely go for it, even if it means you're a volunteer at the festival, because it's so diverse, like I said earlier, and you'll get to make contacts, network with people in the industry, and not just with the trust and the board of trustees and the people who work for Charles Causley Trust, like yourself, Ellie, but you will also get to meet artists, writers, so many interesting people. So it's such a good opportunity, and you never know what may come from it in the future, and it's a really good thing to have under your belt, and yeah, like me, I've taken it with me to my career now. So yeah, it's such a good opportunity, and I really would recommend it.
Brilliant. Thank you. So Rose, thank you for your time. It's been a real pleasure.
Really.
And actually, for anybody watching this, we've got a whole programme of chats planned out, including the Sunday Times bestseller author Patrick Gale, author Kate Werran, and that's going to be more of a chat with Kate Werran and her father, because her father knew Charles as well. And really, for anyone who kind of wants to continue to follow our videos, stay in tuned by signing up to our newsletter or our YouTube channel, or just follow us on social media so that we can kind of keep you up to date with all the little interviews that we do. So thank you ever so much, Rose. It's been an absolute pleasure, and and obviously look forward to seeing you soon, but not face to face, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately,
at the moment.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So thank you ever so much, Rose.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.